Good morning, this is Dr. Mark, animal advocate, author, journalist, and speaker. I wish to open today's message with a story. Early morning, before most people are even awake, I stopped along a highway near my home on the way to a small country store that happens to open early. I noticed a small dog just sitting on the side of the road. A young dog, maybe 10, 12 weeks old, looks as though he had been dumped, I guess sometimes during the night. No collar. In fact, there was nothing found near this little guy. He just stood there near the ditch, looking out at the roadway. That scene was not unusual to me. I've seen it unfortunately many times. I reported the incident to law enforcement. I documented it. I followed the process. Nothing happened. That silence said more than any words could. I have seen animals left chained in yards with empty bowls, no food, no water, no shelter. I have seen dogs locked inside houses after families have moved out. I have seen livestock starve because someone decided feeding them was no longer worth the effort. In many of these cases, the suffering was known. People called, photos taken, reports filed. Nothing happens. This is how cruelty becomes ordinary. The Bible does not treat this as a small issue. Ecclesiastes 3:19 says, "The fate of humans and the fate of animals is the same. As one dies, so does the other." That verse does not erase human value. It reminds us that life itself is sacred. Animals are not props. They're living beings placed under human authority. And authority always comes with responsibility. I want to talk about leadership. Scripture speaks harshly about leaders who see harm and refuse to act. Ezekiel 34:4 says, "The weak you have not strengthened, the injured you have not healed, the strays you have not brought back, the lost you have not sought." That is not about intentions. It is about results. When leaders ignore suffering, they become part of it. Animals depend completely on human restraint. Psalm 36:6 says, "You save both humans and animals, O Lord." If God places animals under His care, then neglecting them is not neutral behavior. It is rejection of responsibility. There are people who harm animals directly. Dog fighting, cockfighting, beating animals out of mere frustration. Dumping animals when they get old or inconvenient. There are also people who enable this by silence. They say it's not their job. They say someone else will handle it. They say they don't want to get involved. The Bible addresses that mindset. James 4:17 says, "Anyone who knows the right thing to do and fails to do it sins." Some laws exist on paper, but are not enforced. Some authorities are given power, but avoid responsibility. Some systems protect people instead of protecting life. Scripture does not excuse this. Isaiah 10:1-2 says, "Woe to those who make unjust laws, who deny justice to the oppressed. Justice delayed through indifference is still injustice. Judgment is not symbolic." Romans 14:12 says, "Each of us will give an account of ourselves to God." Not our excuses, not our titles, our actions. Authority does not shield anyone from judgment. It increases accountability. Jesus addressed this directly. Luke 12:48 says, "To whom much is given, much will be required." If someone is given authority and uses it to avoid discomfort instead of stopping harm, that will be answered for. I often think about how animals experience human failure. They don't understand laws. They don't understand systems. They only know hunger, pain, fear, and waiting. And they wait on humans to act. Scripture warns us against hardening the heart. Proverbs 28:27 says, "Whoever gives to the poor will lack nothing, but whoever closes his eyes to them receives many curses." Closing the eyes does not remove responsibility. It multiplies it. What we tolerate teaches others what is acceptable. When cruelty is ignored, it spreads. When leadership fails, suffering grows. Judgment Day will not be about appearances. It will be about what was done with the responsibility given. Those who harmed will answer. Those who are enabled will answer. Those who stayed silent will answer. This message is not about condemnation. It is about awareness. Change is still possible, but denial always ends at accountability. Thank you for listening. I'll be here every Sunday morning with another message drawn from Scripture and the soul. I hope you'll join me. And until then, may your heart stay tender and your actions reflect compassion. This is Dr. Mark. Thank you for listening. Good day and God bless.